ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಅಂದೆ ನಾನು. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೊಬೈಲ್
Good afternoon to all. I extend my hearty welcome to our principal, Sir Dr. Nagaraj Shenoy, BBA HOD Dr. Suplab Podar, BCom HOD Professor Mugesh BN, faculty members, and the students. I would also like to welcome our guest speaker for today, Shanmugam. Now, I would like to request Ayushi to introduce our speaker for today.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ayushi Kaur. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Sabareesh S., who is an alumni of Dhanand Sagar College. He completed his schooling from St. Joseph India High School and then pursued his BCom from Dhanand Sagar Institution. He is yet to complete his MBA from Jan College. Apart from his educational qualification, he is a sports person as well. He is a district level football player, state level athlete, marathon runner, and he's also been a part time referee and an assistant football coach. Right after his BCom, he started working at AXA Business Services and has worked there for 3 years. Currently, he's working at Deutsche India Private Limited in the FX OTC team. Now, I would like to welcome Mr. Sabrish S. Over to you, sir.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for the welcome. Hello sir, uh, respected sir and principal, HODs and Shima ma'am. Thank you so much for offering me this opportunity. Feel like back to home. So yeah, so let's start off with today's agenda. I'll quickly present my screen. So as you all know, I'm Sabrish, an alumni of DSI. So today we are discussing about, I'm going to present about how to be more employable in the industry. So let's get started. So how many of you have watched this series? Okay, can see one person raising his hand. So let's have this a bit interactive. Don't see this as a session where I'll be advising you and giving some tips and advices. Let's see this as a senior talking to the juniors in a friendly way and suggesting things. So let's keep it much more interactive. It would be great if you can unmute and respond. Okay. So I would like to have two questions on this. So the first question was, the first loot that they did was they robbed the money from the Royal Mint of Spain. They did not loot the existing money, but they broke into the mint. They printed new currency notes, and then they were caught. In the second loot, uh, they broke into the mint and they stole about 90 tons of gold, but the government let them go in the series. Do you know what is the reason behind this? Anyone? Nobody? Okay. So we'll see this at the end of the session. So now let's get start off with uh, the actual agenda of this meeting. So what do the companies look for? Anyone? Either chat, any messages? If not, unmute and talk.
Companies are looking for something that can improve their company skills,
Okay.
good skills maybe.
Yes. Some more answers. Okay, skills. What kind of skills? You're right. Innovative ideas. Yeah,
Communication is the key. That's what they need. That's what they're looking for.
accepted. What kind of innovative ideas and skills are the companies looking for? Thank you for the answer, Navneet. Is that you who answered? Was it Navneet who just answered? Yeah. Somebody else? Anyone? Your knowledge and your communication. So what do you understand by skill? So what kind of skill are they looking for? Rather than knowledge, what kind of knowledge do the companies look for? We have about 99 participants. Yeah. Problem solving, decision making. Yeah. Depends on the company. Yeah.
Skills are
Something
two
you're good at.
types. So hard skills and soft.
Okay.
Your leadership skills and
Mhm.
everything is required. Like it's different for different job profile and different companies.
Okay. Let's take an example.
Like for what I know is for finance, one important skill is to know Excel. Like that's important for finance because
That's your
it contains
technical
a lot of
skill.
data.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's a,
technical skill.
yeah. And what about the concepts, the conceptual knowledge that we need to have?
Yes, even that is important, like what we have been taught in the college. But what I got to know from our seniors, like what we are taught in college is very different from what is required for the field work.
Absolutely true. So what is that requirement that we need to build in ourselves?
Maybe the company training could help us.
Company training will just give you the process training. They'll teach you how to operate the applications that they use day to day to process let's say you're into a finance process, let's say you deal with currencies. There are n number of applications which will be used in the daily activities to work on those transactions. So different banks, investment banks, or any other companies will be using different applications. They train you on that, and very limited knowledge about the concept will be shared. The knowledge that is required will be shared only to know and deal with that particular process. You'll not get the knowledge of the industry or the complete conceptual knowledge. Okay, skill is something that you learn over a period of time and develop and build over a period of time. It's not that something you get by completing a degree or by holding a few certifications. That is something that you work a lot and then you build it on yourself. You might have to go through different books, read a lot, and then that's where you develop a skill. Knowledge, let's say, let's ask this question: why become? Why become? Navneet?
I'm a BBA student.
Okay, why BBA?
Well, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
it's much more like what, let's say engineers, they create a product. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And the thing is that the thing about society is
Hmm.
all we are trying to do is to solve a problem. And when
Okay.
there's a problem solved, people make it as a business and there's money. And
Okay.
like we look at the world and the society, everyone's behind the money. That's the rat race. So
Okay.
I thought, if you have communication and if you have the right knowledge, with the right particular skills, maybe you can move where the product, where you want the product to go. I mean, I have a bunch of engineers. They've got something new, but how can the general public receive the product? How can they know or be aware of what the product is? So
Okay.
that's where the finance student comes in. That's where the marketer comes in. So I thought
Mhm.
maybe if I am good at this, if I'm
Mhm.
good at communication, if I'm good at selling, if I'm good at manipulation in
Mhm.
terms of global, in a global scale,
Mhm.
you manipulate like thousands of people to buy something, then that's where business is. I
Okay.
mean,
Is that ethical?
to be honest, if we ask business is ethical, trust me, it's not. But
Mhm.
in a ethical way, it is like in terms of societal norms, we consider business to be ethical, even though we make profits and I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
It's a bit of both.
Accepted. Anyone else? Your thoughts? Why become a BBA? Why degree or a master degree?
Because the
So
courses
what
are
I
designed.
think is,
Yeah, one by one.
so what I think is, to be very honest, degree is just a first step that is required or that is essential to get
Okay.
into the corporate world. Like
So
it's
you mean
something
to
very
say
mandatory.
the degree is just the entry ticket to the corporate world, right?
To some extent, yes, because
Okay.
as I said earlier, it's very different from the
Mhm.
education system that we are in is very different from the corporate world that we are about to enter.
Mhm.
So it's just a first step that is essential to get into that further, like our future, to build our
Okay.
future.
Right. Someone else was also talking. Can you please share a thought?
It just gives you the basic knowledge on which you can build your further skills.
Okay. Have you ever thought of this? Why is your master degree in IMS more valuable than any other institutions in India? Or why is your master degree or be it any other degree more valuable in Stanford, Harvard, than any other universities in the world? Have you
They
ever?
adapt with time. I mean, they change with time. Any new knowledge is there that will be incorporated as soon as possible. Hence, I guess.
Okay, so you think the universities, institutions in India are not upgraded with their uh, syllabus, you mean to say?
Yeah, new knowledge.
Okay, I disagree to you because uh, the education institutions or the universities keep upgrading their knowledge. The syllabus that I went through when I was in the SI is not very similar as that you're going through now. So education systems are getting upgraded. The syllabus, the knowledge is getting upgraded. So the difference universities such as Harvard, Stanford, Mannheim, for example. What they do is they make you learn things practically. The moment you read something theoretically, that is taught practically. But we here, I'm just generalizing this because let's not be specific. So we just learn things theoretically and we do not put that into use practically. So let's say you're learning consignment sums in your first year or second year degree, and then we just leave it then and there. We do not open our books or go through it after our exams. We just leave it then and there. We do not put that knowledge into practical life and see how the consignment work. Let's say you fuel your bikes or cars in Shell. Shell is an enterprise where they give in franchises, and we have to see how they bring their consignments. What is the consignment clause? For example, this is just an example that I'm giving you. Similarly, there are other things that we learn in our degree, but we do not see that in a different view and try to put that knowledge into practical way. So that is where we lack our knowledge. And one of our friend was saying that the knowledge that we gain in our degree is very different and what we work is different. That is because your degree will teach you many things and it will give you an intro or overview or a brief of many concepts. But the organizations or the companies that we go and work for will work for one thing that we learn for. That is the reason it's very different. Communication is one of the very important skill in your life, be it professional life or personal life. So when it comes to professional life, let's say you have thousands of ideas in your mind. You might want to improve an application in your team that you're using for day-to-day activities. Let's say in some way you find it inefficient and you want to improve it. You have ideas to improve it, but you do not know how to put that across to your team or your management or your officials. Then your ideas gone to vain. Your efforts gone to vain. You need to know, even if you're criticizing someone in your team or in your organization where you work, you need to know how you have to put that in a constructive manner where nobody gets hurt, right? So try to develop your communication, try to develop your knowledge, try to develop your skills. Skills, it's not just your BCom or MBA. There are so many other skills. Let's say we just discussed about universities over here, like IIM, Harvard, Stanford, and all those institutions. We also have other institutions like Indian Institute of Chartered Accountant. We also have ACCA in England, CPA in Australia and other countries. And we have Chartered Institute in US as well. So what is the difference between these institutions where they train you professionally, the professional degrees, and your normal degrees that you do in your other institutions? Can someone share your thought or anything that you know about this? Ayushi?
Sir, I didn't get your question that well. Could you repeat it once?
Okay. We were discussing about the skill and knowledge. So we just discussed about the universities or the educational institutions, right? Like IIM, Stanford, or Harvard. Similarly, we have other institutions like Indian Institute of Chartered Accountant, CPA Institute, Project Management Institute, or the Chartered Institute in the US, right? Or the ACCA Institute in the UK. So these are the institutions where they offer you the professional degrees or the professional courses where you gain your professional degrees, right? Or you have not heard of these institutes?
Sir,
Yeah.
yes, sir. I have heard about these institutes.
Okay. What is the difference between these degrees that offer you MBA, BCom, BBA, MCom, and these professional degrees or the professional certifications?
The way we learn over there is different.
Where you
and
mean?
IIMs and other
Okay.
places. The
Okay.
way of teaching, the way of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because for one, I'd like to be honest on this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're in a place where you don't have competition and
Okay.
you don't have pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So I in them the one thing that I have realized is that everyone over there
Mm-hmm.
in ABC they get something around like 96, 97 percentile. So it's all you're all in one clean slate. Everyone's one and the same. How are
Okay.
you going to be different or how are you going to be unique? Colleges is that they opportunities to everyone. Everyone meaning the ones who score less and the ones who score high,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have the sense of competition.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in these high colleges, they create a sense of competition, and that gives a pressure amongst the students to be the best. And
You can have that kind of competition even in BSI. Nobody's stopping you, right?
yes, trust me, it
Yeah.
could be.
Okay.
We are working hard for that.
Yeah, I can understand that. Anybody else?
So doing this
Yeah.
course, you can get into only one particular that that's the only
Right.
thing you can do. But these are general, like even engineers do MBA, BB become students
Mm-hmm.
do MBA. Many normal bachelors, like people who have done bachelors in arts, also do MBA. It's very generic, but
Right.
these
Right.
professional courses aren't.
Yeah. So, which year are you all in? Final year or first or
Yes,
second?
finally.
Final year. Okay. So this is the time where you have to identify your interest. Your interest. Your what do you like to do actually? That is the question you need to ask yourself. What do I like? What do I want to be? Let's say 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line. This is the question that you need to keep asking yourself. Let's say you are interested in finance. Try to do some research. Your BCom, your MBA, just as you said, will offer you very generic knowledge, but that will give you an entry ticket to the corporate world, where after getting into the corporate you can learn things and you can just stick to one domain and then spend the rest of your life. Don't do that thing. Try to diversify your skill, try to diversify your knowledge, try to do some professional courses and try to build your skill on that. So difference between these institutions and the professional courses is that these institutions, MBA will offer you the master of business and a specialization in any one specific paper like finance, marketing or similar, something like that. So when you get into a professional course, that will give you the insight, the depth knowledge about that particular course or that particular domain. So that's what you need to focus. So skill is something that you do practically. Knowledge is something that you keep learning each day, each minute, and that's how you need to keep your knowledge sharp. You need to have a sharp edge to market yourself in the corporate world. So the next thing is how to survive in the industry. The first thing is that you need to create your own importance in the team. So let's say as a fresher, you get into a team, they'll train you in a process. And then if the team is very vast, very big, they may train you in different processes. And mark my words, initial 1 years or 6 months, you'll be very frustrated because the environment is new, people are new. Uh, the thing that happens in the office are new to you. You'll be frustrated to learn things. You'll be under pressure. So the thing that you have to do is you need to create your own importance. How do I do that? Let's say there is a team of 50 members and they handle about 3 or 4 processes. Initially, you will be trained in one process, and don't spend your entire time in the organization just working in that one process and then leaving the organization and shifting to a different organization. That is the biggest mistake everyone does. Try to learn 2 or 3 processes that is in the team. Let's say there is a team and you're put into one team. Try to talk to your manager, supervisor, your team lead, and try to be a person who knows everything in that particular team. Let's say there are four processes in the team. the first process, second process, third process will be divided. So let's say where I work now is a Forex team. We deal with OTC products like swaps, forwards, rates and credits. So here it's divided into three stages of the process: the pre-settlements, post-settlements, confirmations, and documentations. So if I spend rest of my life just working for a pre-settlements team, I wouldn't get the insight of this entire Forex concept. Or if I spend in any other one particular team spending my duration in this organization, I would be of no use. And second thing is that if I know everything in this team, pre-post documentations and confirmation, value. So that is where the team will depend upon you. Even if tenured members leave the organization, you have the knowledge with you. That's what the organization or the team or your superior management will see. What value add are you doing in the organization is what they focus on. And second thing is to be a professional. So behaving professionally is something different, and having professional qualification is something different. Let's say you might be a CA, CFA, ACCA, P. It does not matter. It's how you showcase yourself, how you showcase your the skill, how you represent yourself in a team. That is what matters. The last thing is being disciplined is the key to success. So you might be wondering, what is the use of doing the degrees, the use of putting so much efforts in learning things and getting the certifications, and just by being disciplined, how will I get this success? Let me give you an example. Have you guys heard of Jasmatji Tata?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can someone quickly tell about him in a minute or two? Anyone? Okay. Let me give you an example of Jasmatji Tata. He is one of the most known personnel from the Tata families, who was well enthusiastic youth, and he traveled to UK to do the cotton business in somewhere around late or mid 1800s. He took a loan from his dad, wherein even in India they were doing the cotton business and manufacturing dresses for this Europeans or the foreigners, and then he wanted to have branches or manufacturing units in the UK so that he can have a wider market for himself. So as per his idea, he flew to or he traveled to the UK, wherein he set up his own business, the cotton business and other stuff. But his business incurred loss. To set up his business, he had taken huge loans from various lenders. But when his business was at loss, everyone thought that this guy would run away and he would never repay the debt. But Jasmatji Tata promised all his lenders, saying that my presence in UK might be at loss, my business at UK might be at loss, but my business in other places are running well. For example, China and other countries in the world. So after a couple of years, as he promised to his lenders, he came back with the profit. He repaid his debt along with the principal and interest, and he showed that his integrity, he showed that he's disciplined. Just because he was disciplined and integrity, he was integrate, he was able to achieve his words. He was able to keep up his words. That's what makes his life successful. Have so many philanthropists like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, etc. But you cannot match the donations or the philanthropic activities that Jasmatji Tata has done in his lifetime. His contributions to the society in terms of monetary, it's in billions, and nobody has contributed that much even till this date. So this is the power of discipline, integrity. So have this till your career in your life, be it personal. That's the key to success. And thank you for your patience.
So, I have a
Hmm?
small doubt. like talking about how to survive in an industry, what I have heard is hard work is not all that is required. Like having a good rapport with your manager or your head is also very important in getting promoted and stuff. Is it true? Like for
So what do you mean by hard work in the first place, or smart work that everyone says?
So for me, both are important. Like only smart work can't get you at a particular place. Neither can hard work. A combination of both is required. Like doing all the works that has been assigned to you within the time, with like using all the knowledge.
Do the task. Let's say that if you train a 12th standard guy, or let's coming into the organization who's in the first year or second year, even they will be able to perform the task. Let's say you're spending 5 years in a team, and if you're adding no value to the team, let's say or to reducing the cost to the team, or reducing a step, or automating a process, or bits and pieces here and where you can identify and automate certain things, where you reduce the cost to the company, they'll not consider you as an efficient employee. Working, everyone does the working, everyone does the process, but you need to stand out and show your skill, right? That is where the organization will see you.
I'm sorry to cut in, but what kind of skills do the corporate environment? What do they expect from us? What kind of skills exactly from your perspective?
Okay, yeah. Let's have this Q&A at the end. Let me finish off the slide first. Would that be fine? I'll definitely answer your question, Lavanya.
Take your time.
Yeah. So let's come back to this money heist, which is very important for each and every student to know. During the 2008 crisis, two friends called Alex Pena and Jesus Colmender were just sitting and talking about the crisis, and they were talking about the banking system. So I'm not here to talk any conspiracy, but just see this. They were talking about the banking system. They were talking about the economic crisis. They're talking about the country's financial system, economic system, and all the stuff. And that's where they understood that the banking system is wrong. Again, it's not my claim. It's both of theirs. Banking system is not right. So to understand this money heist series, you'll have to understand this 4 words. So what is the real money? Is it the currency? Anybody? Okay, take this as a what is reserve and what is mint. You'll have a fair idea of what we are going to talk about. So have you guys noticed in the series when the professor was caught, the police will ask that what you have done is the biggest mistake. And do you know what answer did the professor give? Can someone tell that?
Recording in progress.
Hello? Okay. So the professor answers to the police, this 2013. I'm sorry for that. Yeah. In 2011, the EU, European Union Central Bank, prints about 121 billion euros. And in 2012, the Central Bank of European Union prints about 185 billion euros. And in 2013, sorry for this mistake, the European Central Bank prints about 115 billion euros. And it was taken to the bank directly. So the professor questions to the police saying that when the banks print, it's called liquidity injection. We also printed the money in the same mint, the same currency. All the qualifications for the currency is there in the currency, what we have printed. But what we did is a robbery or a theft. But
Recording
that
in
money
progress.
was distributed to the citizens of the country in terms of in calorie, or did the living standards of the citizens develop? And these are the questions that he raised, but nothing such happened. So the crux of the money heist is that the currencies were printed earlier with a concept called as gold standard. So what is this gold standard? Any idea? Can someone guess? Hello? Any idea about gold standard?
No, sir.
Okay. Gold standard is a very simple concept. Let's say I have about 2 tons of gold. Let's say India has about 2 tons of gold. The currency that India has to print should be the value representing the 2 tons of gold. But in 1931, UK stopped following this method, and that was followed by US in the early 60s or 70s. And since then, all the other countries stopped following gold standard. So what this money heist is coming to say is that no bank or the reserve bank of that particular country is saying what is the reserve that they have, the gold reserve that they have in their reserve. And the banks are printing the notes as they wish, as they want. There is no reason given behind printing so much of notes. The only reason they say is liquidity injection, and people are able to earn more money. So understand this. The value of the currency is derived from the gold, the quantity of the gold that the reserve of that particular country has. Let's say that I have about 2 tons of gold and I print the currency which has a value of about 10 tons of gold. How does the value of,
ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ?
sorry?
ಇನ್ನೇನೇನ್ ತಿಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಬ್?
Okay. So value of that extra 8 tons of currency is derived from the currency that is already there. So in this money heist, if you had noticed, the first time when they looted currency by printing extra currency, they were caught. And the second time when they broke in and they looted about 90 tons of gold, they were allowed to go, and it was also made sure that this news is not spread across in the news or any other channels. What is the reason behind it? Anybody?
I'm sorry, I haven't watched Money Heist.
Okay. Watch this series because it has a lot of financial information. The reason behind letting them go when they stole or when they robbed the gold is that because we all believe that the money is just the note that they print. Actually, that is not the real money. The money is the gold that is there in the reserve. So we all believe that the gold standard is no more existing. The only country that follows the gold standard is Switzerland. They represent their currency in terms of the gold that they have in their reserve. So now all the other countries, when they are printing notes, they are not following gold standard, and the value for that currency being printed, that is newly being printed is derived from your savings, small savings, your investments, be it in real estate or any other investment or any other such value that is already existing, or the money that is existing. The value of the new currencies is derived from the existing money, but not the gold. So since you're all yet to start earning money, you need to know these concepts so that you plan your savings, your future, your retirement well. So know the value of currency, know the value of money, run behind the things that give value and not anything else. Thank you for your patience. Yeah. Now that you had a question, right? Can you please repeat your question? Hello.
Hello. Yeah. So a few questions that I had was first in terms of the corporate industry.
Okay.
So if what kind of skills are they looking into us? Let's say I am get as a starter, as a fresher, I want to get into a company, and the companies will have a set of skills that they are looking for. So
Okay.
what are the common skills that they're looking for in freshers? What should
Okay.
we have to get into the best of the best?
Okay. So let's. I would say each and everyone should have these basic skills. That is the interpersonal skill, the communication skill, all those stuff. That is where you'll be able to handle the pressure at work. You'll be able to communicate. You'll be put across what you think. Those are general skills. Your technical skill, especially. Let's say that you're a student from finance and you want to get into an investment banking. Investment banking or finance is an ocean, right? So you need to understand what is the thing that you want to do, or what is the profession that you want to pick up. Do you want to be an equity researcher? You want to become a hedge fund holder, hedge fund manager, or a mutual fund manager, or something similar? So you need to identify your interest first. You need to build your skill on that interest, and that is where you will be able to market yourself to the industry. It's not this you have a degree and you just go attend an interview and find a job. That is a mistake everyone does. Identify your interest, build your knowledge and skill on that, and try to identify the companies that operate in your interest. Your interest, I mean to say, let's say you want to become an equity researcher. Try to build your skill, your knowledge on equity research. Try to learn the technical applications that are used in equity research. Try to understand the entire process. When I say equity research is a concept. You'll have pre, post. There'll be some other things around that, right? Which will be revolving around that. So you need to identify that concept first, build your skill, and then enter the world.
For example, let's say I want to get into a company called A. So if the company A is for investment banking, so should I prepare skills on the basis of the company or on the basis of the profession and the field of the skills? Like as of now, I'm good with graphic designing, and if I want to approach a company that wants to hire graphic design, should I make sure that I prepare myself for the company or me as a person being developed in the field of graphic designing? Is it the field or for the company?
Companies, graphic designing companies, there might be a number of companies, but your skill should be put into use in every company or any company that you go, right?
Makes sense.
It's not that today you do graphic designing and tomorrow you go somewhere else and there you do some other job.
Yeah.
Right? You need to build your skill in such a way that wherever you go, your knowledge and your skill is put into use.
That answered my question. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what are the value-added courses that could be done by probably BB or BCom students who are pursuing finance?
Okay. When it comes to finance, there are a number of courses. Let's say CFA, FRM, or ACCA in finance, or CAIA, various other questions, like courses, sorry. Before getting into any courses, make sure you do a proper research on your own before getting into the course. Before registering yourself to the course, try to get to know what is the course content, like the syllabus, what is the duration, and how long will it take for you to get the certification. For example, if you're doing a CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst, the course has 3 levels and you have about 10 subjects. There are 4 papers which will be taken out when you're in the final year. Because I'm doing CFA, I'm yet to start it in some time, so I'm just taking this as an example. So if you finish the 3 levels in 3 years, let's say, you'll have to work and show 4 years of experience in the relative domain. or the industry, you'll have to submit that document to the Chartered Institute. Only then you'll be receiving the certificate or the chartered certificate.
Thank you, sir.
Again, in finance, you need to identify your interest. As I said, finance is an ocean. If you want to get into core risk management, you can do FRM, financial risk management, something like that. Or if you do CFA, you'll have multiple choices where you can become a portfolio manager, a hedge fund manager, risk analyst, something like that. Or you can find some other courses such as certified in international trade documentation. It's called CITA or CITF, something like that. These are some sharp edge you must have, so that you have importance, or you can show off, you can show that skill on your resume and stand out among all the other candidates.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Like after graduation, if someone gets into a particular field, like but so is it very difficult to change the industry you're in? Like after finance, someone gets into some different genre, and after some time he gets to know that okay, this is not something I am very much interested in. So how difficult will it be to change our industry?
Okay. Let's say for an example, when I was working in AXA is an insurance company. Now I'm in Deutsche Bank, Deutsche India Private Limited, which is a group of Deutsche Bank. Now I'm into investment banking. So let's say you spend about 5 years or 6 years in one organization which deals with finance, like investment banking or any other process, and you try to change to insurance, then you'll be considered as a fresher. If you climb up the ladder and if you reach a position as a team lead or manager or senior manager, then the game is different. If you're not climbing the ladder, then your game is different. Always when you get into an organization, try to have this thing. You need to have vertical and horizontal growth. Vertical and horizontal growth is you need to climb up the ladder as you work every day, and you need to have the knowledge as well. So vertical and horizontal growth is something that you need to pay attention when you start working. Or if you stick to an company, and if you want to change the domain, make sure you climb the ladder and then change, so that you just handle the people, like people management or something like that, and then you change. It's very difficult, I would say, as far as I've seen my seniors, super seniors and friends. It's difficult because you need to have the domain knowledge or the process knowledge, right? Let's say the issues that you deal in your insurance company is different. The issues that you deal in financial institutions are different, right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anything else? Anybody? Any questions?
So I
Sir,
have a small doubt again.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So, sir, like though you are currently working in an investment bank,
Hmm.
do you have any idea how the operations of a company actually work, like the operation sector?
Okay. I'm not an industry expert, but I'll tell you whatever I know. Uh, the the parent company is somewhere else, right? The parent company is in Germany, Frankfurt, and the operations are done in India. Similarly, the other processes. I work for a process called FX OTC. Uh, it just deals with the back end process. The middle office is somewhere else, and the front office is somewhere else. Just deals with the back end process.
Thank you.
Sir,
Yeah.
so what you suggest for the account specialization students, sir? What they have to build, what they have to build for the career after BCom, what they have to do for the account specialization students?
You can try doing ACCA or CPA, something like that, because CA is very generic and everyone goes for CA. Try to check out ACCA and CPA or CMA. Uh, CMA, you directly get a white collar job as soon as you get out of your college, and it's highly paid as well. It's called CMA, Certified Management Accountant. Try to check that, or we can talk to Shima ma'am. She'll give you in-depth knowledge on that. I'll try to share her the courses, a list of courses for this finance and accounts.
Yes, sir.
I have a
Thank you.
question, sir.
Mhm.
Sir, I've heard many people saying that if at all you need to establish in terms of investment banking, then you need an MBA. Is it true that we need an MBA, or can we get into the field of investment banking just with a BBA or a BCom degree with some additional specialized courses that we do online? Is that enough, or is MBA needed?
It depends, right? It depends where you work. Now, they might want you to have a professional certification rather than a master degree. These financial institutions or the investment banking, they want the core knowledge. MBA is what? Just a business management degree, right? And you just get specialized in finance where you learn certain concepts. But when you're in investment banking, you need to have the core knowledge of the finance, wherein you need to know the time value of money, calculations of that, wherein you need to analyze some data to equity research, something like that. So you need to have the core knowledge to climb up the ladder. There are currently in my organization, there are many people who just have a BCom or a BBA degree, but they have FRM or CFA or some other professional courses related to finance, and that is helping them climb the ladder.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Are we done with the questions?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, like I'm being a finance student in BBA. In future, for MBA, actually, I'm looking for a different specialization. They say that business analyst has been trending these days. So, like, I just wanted to say, being in finance and again changing in your specialization in MBA, is it going to affect a organization which I joined, or will the question regarding why did you change your specialization?
No, that thing might come in your interview, but once you get into the task, that thing might not pitch in. But if you're interested in business analytics, try to do a course called CQF, certified in quantitative finance. That's also related to finance and quantitative research methods. That's also a very highly valuable and highly paid course. Try this course called as CQF.
Thank you so much.
And if you're really interested in business analytics, try to get into that domain right after your BCom, like completely in that domain, and try to learn the applications in and out and the courses that is there. If you do a course, try to complete it fully and try to have the certifications and master the tools that they have, like Excel, Python, V, and similar applications.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Are we done?
Hello, sir. What about SAP course?
SAP. That's an awesome application which is used in very certain companies like Accenture, DXC and other companies. I would say having SAP is not a disadvantage, but in the interviews, they might have this assumption that if you get a SAP core company, you'll just switch to that company and you'll have a downside. And if at all if you're doing SAP, try to learn the latest version and stick to one thing that you learn, and try to find and give interviews in the companies that use SAP, because SAP is not used everywhere and it's not used in every process. There are various applications which they use. Again, SAP is just like an application like Python, right?
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, everyone. I would like to present today's vote of thanks. Very good afternoon to all, and I am Sumanyu, and it gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this event. I would like to thank our guest for today's event, Mr. Sabareesh Shanmugam, for guiding us with such words of wisdom and giving us an insight of how to enhance our skills to be industry ready. I would like to thank our beloved teachers and our beloved audience for making this event such a great success. Once again, I thank one and all present here today. Thank you. I would just request you all to keep your cameras on. Please keep your cameras on. Kindly switch on your cameras. Everyone, kindly switch on your cameras, please. It's for a group screenshot, so it would be really helpful if you would switch on your cameras. Yeah, I think you can try now. I've enabled it. Please switch on your cameras. A few more of you, please.
This batch is so shy to turn on the cameras.
Thank you so much, sir, for you know taking this session, and it was really good. I think we can wind up the session now, and I thank everyone for your participation. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.